Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Philly Fan Radio. I'm your host, John Myer, along with Dan Palmieri, and we're talking about Week 2 win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, Dan, they are 2-0 to start the season. The Chiefs finally got their three-peat by the Eagles. Thank you. Okay, Dan, let's kick things off. First of all, let me give you your honest feedback on this game. What do you think?
The defense showed some real good promise. It looked a bit more like it was last season, pretty much for the most part. I thought the corners played well. Dory Jackson played okay. I mean, I'm
How hard was it for you to just say that?
yeah. Well, I'm a little skeptical considering there were a bunch of scrubs out there, but I'm really when you see a Super Bowl team, a lot of teams get complacent and you see them like kind of lack energy and lack focus. We kind of saw the lack focus part in week 1 with the fights and everything, but I'm really happy that this team hasn't lost their edge and their energy. They still seem like they want to punch you in the mouth and be that more physical team, and that's good because that's a brand of football that we win with. We're not a very we're not a good finesse team. We just basically say that we have better and bigger guys than you, and we're going to prove it every single down. And it was really impressive. I mean, we'll go over the particulars, but overall, I think it was a good game. I mean, you're playing in a hostile environment. I don't think enough of us take that into account. We played a team that was the defending AFC champions for the last 4 years. They were at home where they were unbeaten last year. So, I mean, everybody that says that they struggled on offense, which they did, we got to take it with a grain of salt, take the goods with the bads and understand that in the first month of the season, it is pretty much preseason and we're sitting 2-0.
Dan, I echo almost everything you said with regards to the Eagles for beating the Kansas City Chiefs in their home, in their territory, against a hostile environment. Granted, a lot of stadiums are loud, but this stadium is really loud. And also, if you think about it, this game should have been at home for the Eagles. They beat them against the Super Bowl, and we should have had a home opener against them. So it was probably almost like a kick in the teeth, like, hey, listen, you beat them, but you're going to go play in their area. You talked about their, I want to say, lack of finesse, right? We're bigger, we're badder, and we're going to run over you. And the next topic you're going to really love is it seemed to be the prominent topic coming out of this game is the Tush Push. The Eagles did it 7 times in this game. 7 times. And I think they were all successful except for the one where, he crosses the goal line and it was a touchdown and we had to do it twice. Clearly, we all saw it, but the refs, I think, did not like the Tush Push. And in fact, Dan, what's your percentage that the Tush Push is going to be banned next year?
100%.
I'm right there.
When the lead official goes on Fox and says that it's a hard play to officiate and he's tired of it,
Yep.
First off, stop bitching like a little girl. Second off,
especially when you're with the Kansas City Chiefs, right? And the Zebras usually are on their side.
It's the same play as a quarterback sneak. Yes, I will be the first to admit that the Eagles did false start, I think, on 2 of them. But anybody who says they false started all the time, that's bullshit because
Why didn't they call it out earlier? Why hasn't it become earlier? It only became prominent this time around because they did it 7 times and not 2 times. And they saw that it was false start on 2 occasions. I saw it. We all did. You know what? The refs didn't call it. Do you know the refs didn't call half the crap when it was going against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they got away with it?
Well, with the Tush Push, I mean, it should have been, like you said, either 5 or 6. I mean, one of them has a clear shot of Hurts breaking the plane down the line, football across the white line, and yet with all the technology in the world, we still come down to these idiots who apparently need glasses to see the damn screen that say, oh, it's inconclusive evidence. I mean, the ball is clearly touching it, but whatever. The play does happen fast. It was a false start, I'll admit. But then let's not forget the fact that somehow there was a roughing the passer call on Mahomes in which he wasn't hit in the face at all, but yet he whiplashes his head backwards and
looks at the ref immediately.
Yep, when he falls down on the ground, he looks at the ref like, oh my God, what happened? And he gets the flag. So let's not pretend like the refs played for the Eagles' side. I mean, I'm just going to say it out loud and say the officiating has been horrible in almost every game that I've watched on television. So I don't know what they're paying the guys for, but the officiating is just dreadful. And it's not just favoring one team. It's horrible. I mean, egregious calls.
And this isn't the first time, seriously. So the Eagles win over the Chiefs 20-17. And for what it seems, it definitely was a close game in point-wise. But I think the Eagles really, I don't want to say dominated, but the Eagles had control of this game. They were very slow and methodical for the game. The Tush Push came into play a couple of times, including on 4th and 1. And Nick Sirianni was on 94 WIP, and he said, they were asking him about the Tush Push in the band, and he goes, to be honest with you, I didn't realize it was a big deal because I don't listen to social media. I don't listen to that because I don't want them influencing what we're doing. We're okay with people not understanding what we do and being misunderstood, that we don't care what they're saying or out there. So while you're bringing it up, it's cool everybody's talking about it. It's cool because, you know what? We've practiced it. We spent a lot of time with it. Everybody's had 6 months to prepare for this. So what are you doing?
Yeah, they've had years to prepare for it. They've been bitching about it for years.
Since the league said, hey, we're not banning it. So they had 6 months to try to get, to do something about it. They were hoping it would be pushed off.
So I want to get your take on this. I don't know if you saw, but Adam Schefter went on NFL Live after. Did you get it with the whole thing? This game wasn't lost yesterday. This game was lost 6 months ago when they approved the fact that the Tush Push is still allowed. I mean, what kind of bullshit is that? Every team in the league
that's on the
run
team. If you're getting into those 4th and 1 situations or goal line, 1 yard to TD, like, you know what? It's part of the game. If you get to that, that means your defense hasn't stopped them clearly enough way back. So now you put yourself in that position.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's
everybody's on there talking. I don't like it. There's 2 things in my feed, and that's just one of them that's prevalent, and I'm just over it. Yeah, I'm a little biased, obviously, but at the same time, figure out a way to solve it. And figure out a way to do it. And from everything I've heard, there's no way to stop it. So, except for everybody bitching to ban it.
Well, so yeah, the main thing is let's change that statement you just made. There's no way to stop it if you're playing the Eagles. Every other team that's tried to run it can't do it successfully. And
actually, last night's game with the Chargers and the Raiders, the refs did stop the game right there at the line, and they were like eligible. But really, what they were doing is making sure after they heard everything that they weren't lining up false start. The Chargers did convert their version of the Tush Push. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, what it comes down to is the Eagles are just better than everybody else, and I've never seen something like this before, where a team is just so much better than everybody else that they want to take it away. It's everybody says, oh, it's not a football play. It is a football play, because a football play is basically you across a line from another guy, and the better man wins. And that's what this play is. It is the essence of we're bigger and badder than you, and we're going to kick your ass. That's what it is.
I think them complaining about not being able to stop it is just like, oh, listen, we found a team that's better than it. We need to complain. We need to take this away for our advantage because you can't do it. And once teams get good at something, are you going to go and complain to stop that and take it away or ban it from the NFL? I mean, look at what the NFL has become over the years. There's no hip tackling. There's, no blocking, no taunting, no sportsmanship. Heck, I just heard it on, I think, Philly the Fanatic or WIP this morning, where they took away the play of the guy dunking the football over the crossbar because he was so good at it and doing it. They said, nope, we don't want it anymore. Is this what we're becoming? We're going to ban the things that one or two teams are very good at just so we can make it easier for the other 30, 31 teams?
Yeah, they're going to try to even the playing field. So the question becomes is what we kind of talked about all off season is, okay, we're going to stop pushing the quarterback, but does that mean when a running back is stood up, we're just going to blow the play dead immediately? But if he's pushed by offensive linemen to gain a few more yards, are we then going to say that's not allowed? I mean, but the NFL's been looking for a reason to ban it. Roger Goodell was like, oh, well, safety statistics. Yep. It's not a football play. Cosmetically, it doesn't look right. But they got their reason on air. They got their reason of it's hard to officiate, even though I think it's crock shit. They say it's hard to officiate, which is going to be the exact driver as to why it's banned.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm over the tush push, but Dan, I want to talk about defense a little bit. You said defense looked much better. I'm not going to go out on a limb here and say they looked excellent. I mean, the Chiefs are just not that good of a team anymore. In my opinion, they didn't go up against a very challenging team to stop some of that. I do like it. Zadarius Smith looked great in his debut. He looked great. That was perfect. I got to ask you, Dan, and you mentioned Adoree Jackson. Do you think there's a difference from week 1 against Dallas, which was a good defensive team, an offensive team, against week 2 for the offense of the Chiefs for Adoree Jackson?
So with Adoree Jackson, I liken him to Jalen Mills, not just because of my hatred. But
when you just said you like him to it, I don't think you like either one.
Yeah, but with Jalen, it was where they were good at the line, short crossers and slower wide receivers that were more physical because they just don't have the speed. But if you put them against a burner, they're done. They got cooked. We saw it against CeeDee Lamb when he was on it. Saw it a little bit against George Pickens. But the Chiefs don't have a burner, really. They had Hollywood Brown, who was injured a lot. He was in and out. Xavier Worthy wasn't playing. They really had nobody. So, I mean, I can't say that he played better because of the quality of people. And the test really, we're going to get the eye test and the statistical test this week against a much better offensive team. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. But you saw a lot more man in this game, which I liked because they were bringing blitzes. And
there was a lot of blitzes. In fact, they were talking about it. Vic was just all over bringing blitzes left and right.
Yeah, I mean, what have we always said in the past with all these defensive coordinators that we've had come in, people like Billy Davis, Jim Schwartz, Juan Castillo, but these people that wouldn't make in-game adjustments and before game adjustments. So we win the Super Bowl, we blow them out, running as basically a zone, playing 2 safety high defense. So you would think, okay, we blew them out this way, we're just going to do it again. So what do the Chiefs scheme for? That defense. Yep. So Vic says, no, I'm a better coach than that. We're going to bring the complete opposite, and we're going to come right in your face. And it worked beautifully. And that's what a good defensive coordinator should do.
It was, quote, with Vic showing up on one of the press conferences. The question was, during halftime, is there a lot of changes in the second half of the football to adjust for the first half? And Vic goes, there is 12 minutes and a half. And it takes me a little bit to get downstairs and back upstairs. If you are not making situational awareness changes in game, you're not doing your job. There's no halftime adjustments. It's in-game adjustments.
Yeah, I think, but at halftime, the most I could say is that they have time to talk about it and actually hash it out and say, okay, we made these adjustments. You need to be here. You need to be there. I don't think he's changing schemes, but it is pretty telling to say that, in the second half of these games, they really are a better defense.
That was brought up as well. They looked a lot different in the second half. And that's just like, to your point, they're just communicating, hey, listen, just tweak a little bit here. They're not changing the whole play call in itself.
Yeah, and they got a lot of younger guys, so there's going to be learning curves, but their younger guys are really showing out. You didn't see too much out of position stuff. We saw the one blown coverage that actually was the touchdown. I think
Thornton got that, but who was the man supposed to cover? Because I was trying to watch it, and they didn't have the camera angle exactly where I needed, and Quignon was the fast pace. Like, he almost got in his way. Another millisecond, and that ball would not be there.
Yeah, I don't think it was his assignment because he was on the side. He was on zone looking at the receiver that was shallow, and he looked over to his side and saw that nobody was in center field, and he decided he was going to take the deep guy. So I don't think it was his assignment. It might have been, like Reed Blankenship or Makuba. It could have been one of their assignments, but again, it's a learning process. Makuba played very well. If it was his fault, I can't doubt him or knock him for that one because he played excellent. He looks like another steal that could be a potential cornerstone of this defense.
Yeah, exactly. Howie did a great job, not only previously with the Nolan Smith, but he got Makuba, who just got the interception off of Kelce, and it could have been a KC touchdown, but it ended up in our hands, and it was perfect. I mean, it was like one of those bounce around balls. He runs into Blankenship, and he's like, get out of here, and he's like running out of the way.
Yeah, it was a great play. I mean, Travis Swift out there. That's what I'm going to call him. He just is so slow.
Did you know Taylor was actually at the game, but they did not show her one time at all? She was behind the black curtain and everything.
Yeah, it was a little weird. I don't understand that one. Like the black curtain entrance, but
I guess they didn't want to show her when they were losing. Who knows? I mean,
she was ashamed.
Yeah, exactly. You got to push things off. Dan, overall for the defense, I do got to tell you that it looked better than week one. The adjustments were good. Vic's doing a great job adjusting for things. Still, like you said, we've got Devontae Adams. Puka's going to be there. Like, we still need to show and prove it. There were a couple of missed tackles. The stiff arm by Kelce to Cooper DeJean, like, I don't know how that happens. Cooper's much better than that, and he did have one other missed tackle on it, but the guy's allowed to have some of these occasionally. He's been excellent all around. Bond stepped up as usual. He was there. It was nice to have Carter back. We've all talked about it. He served his one-game suspension last week for Dak initiating it, doing a bait and spit, and Dak didn't get fined, but 3 members of our team did. What was it? It was Nolan, Carter, and who else got fined?
I think it was Reed. But one of them was he got fined for taunting.
Taunting, which is total bullshit in my thing. But Carter got fined $57,222, which was his game check and time already served. So he's back in, and now he's put that behind him. I'll tell you what, defense much better than the week one. And yes, we're in the early season, preseason, I guess if you say. September's like preseason for the pro football, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Nobody plays in preseason, so it's not even a matter of like winning the first 4 games. It's a matter of surviving the first 4 games to figure out what your team really is, and that's when you hit the ground running. So our next 2 games I'm hoping that they're going to open the playbook a bit more that we'll talk about, but I think that you're going to see it's going to be an evolving thing here.
Dan, well, actually, talking about opening a playbook, let's switch over to the offense. Now, I got to tell you, it's last year you and I talked about this a lot, run the ball, throw the ball, and I think you and I were more on the let's get some huge yards, some chunk things. And while they want to open it up and they want to get those, I'm actually to the point, and when you heard Hurts talk after the game, which, by the way, he's improved significantly on his communications, just the way he's coming across in it. He literally says, we don't care about the stats. We're not looking to pad our stats. We are looking to complete our passes, complete the things. We're looking to do the game our way, not your way for stats. And I want him to say your fantasy points don't matter because he's on my fantasy team. And I mean, it is very tough for me. He had just over 100 yards.
Yeah, just over 100 yards passing.
But I'll tell you what, he played excellent. I don't like. I'm not talking about the play calling like from Kevin for the offense, but I think Hurts played really well. I think he is like I think him and Mahomes have switched things. Mahomes is now on the downside, and Hurts is going way up right now.
Yeah, I mean, Hurts did what he had to. You're getting blitzed like crazy. So he took the throws that were available to him. Mainly they were quick throws. You're not going to have those 4 seconds to sit back there. Even the throw to Devontae, he was really covered well. He just basically gave him a jump ball. So,
yep.
I think Hurts is doing a fine job. And it kind of goes back to what we said at the beginning of the year. Everybody's talking about Hurts and how he's not elite or whatever. You know what? I don't care if he's elite or not. He's efficient. And I don't want to hear, if Josh Allen was on this team, he'd win all those Super Bowls. That may be true. But you know what? We have Jalen Hurts, and he wins. When did winning become a secondary stat? That's what it is. Everybody wants to point to his 100 yards passing a game, but you know what?
But
who
he
gives
won.
a shit? Exactly.
Great decision. Even told Chris Jones to shut the heck up and told him, you know what? It doesn't matter. We won.
Yeah, tell me that isn't a loser mentality. You criticize the team that has won the game for not getting statistically higher numbers.
Yeah,
I think you're worried about the wrong thing there.
Hi, I won 400 passing yards, but we lost the game. Oh, that's great. It does great for my fantasy league. I mean, why? I don't understand this. Yes, I think Hurts is conservative, but he's making great decisions. He's getting rid of the ball anymore. He's not taking the sacks that he doesn't need to take. He's running when it's available. Do I want to see more of the RPOs? Do I want to see some holes open for Saquon? I think by this time last year, Saquon has some really good ones. Yes, but they're going to come. Just relax.
Yeah, I think it's just the predictability of the offense right now. We have to open up the playbook, and it's only week 2,
Yep.
We had a rookie offensive coordinator playing against probably, besides Vic Fangio, probably one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, who consistently is one of the best in the league. So it's not like we had
You're talking
the
about
advantage.
Spags?
Yeah.
He's a great
Spags is
defensive
amazing coach.
He's a great defensive coordinator. He knows his shit. And from, being a head coach, moving over, like, it's just, this is his realm.
Yeah, I mean, he knows how to maximize player abilities, and he basically specializes in creating chaos at the line. He is, you can tell he's a direct disciple of Jim Johnson. It's, it's just that tree, but, it's... Petula, the thing I don't like is that Petula is a little predictable.
He's conservative.
I still have shades of Brian Johnson in my head. I don't want to, but it's still there. And I want to go quickly back to one thing you said about, the team doesn't care if the stats are there. And I completely agree with that, but the simmering thing is the team doesn't care. But are we going to start to see AJ? Because he's a great player, great human being, but he is a diva. And are we going to start to see those things pile up? Even though they're winning, are we going to start to see him pull his shit where it's like, oh, the passing game has to be better? I agree the passing game has to be better, but there's no reason to go on media and say that the passing game needs to be, or something outlandish like that. It's just... The question does become, are we going to piss people off on the team by not having these great stats? But anyway, regardless of that, it's just, that worries me. There's two things that worry me about the team, and that's all the Brian Johnson effect, as I'll call it, and the A.J. Brown effect. But, I mean, we're winning. We need to be more explosive. I think everybody said that. But right now, we're doing what it takes to win the game. And like you said, like I've said, since when does it seems like the NFL and some of these fans want us to lose pretty than win ugly. You know, they want those 500 yards of offense, but you didn't win the game, rather than 200 yards of offense and we won the game. We have to get away from this whole, we are a vertical passing team, we are going to put up crazy stats thing. We're going to put up stats in the category that matters most, wins. That's it. We're going to be more physical than you. This is old school, circa 1985 Bears type of football. We're going to rely on our defense, and that's the way it is.
I think the only people that really care about the side, and it's not even the team, it's social media, it's the NFL analysts, the commentators. They all care about the stats. I saw a post, it was like the first 15 pitchers contained quarterbacks who threw over, went from the highest yards, and I think it was like 500 yards, and it was going down. And it was like 499. And out of the first 15, only one of them actually won the game, and that was Josh Allen. So I don't really care about the stats. Do I want to see AJ have a breakout game? Yes, but we're winning. So going back to your question, do we think AJ is going to have a comment or something? He did in his interview. His interview kind of plainly said, it's not my decision. Right? And I'm sure he's getting a little like, man, I want this ball. And he is, he's a wide receiver. He's a good wide receiver. He's a diva at it. Do I think that's going to change? I think everybody needs to sit back. Remember last year when, passing needs to improve, and then they had the breakout against the Steelers game and then just totally romped them. It's week 2, people. Come on now. They're still getting in, even though they've been playing, he's been 3 years, and they're still getting into the rhythm. Just chill, relax. You mentioned the Brian Johnson effect. I don't think Kevin is a Brian Johnson. He's no Kellen Moore either. But I'm okay with him right now. Why? Because we're winning. And the moment we start losing and we don't see the play call open up and we see a lot of drop passes, a lot of missed run routes, everything – yeah, then I think we're going to cause for it. Dan, do you think not having Dallas Goedert played any type of factor in the lack of passing, I guess, in this game?
I think it did, in terms of they didn't really try to go to the middle of the field much. You saw them work the edges, which is where our wide receivers are, our 2 best weapons, so that's fine, but you didn't really see them work the middle at all, so I do think
Calcaterra. He did an excellent job last year. He did. He received it once this game, right?
Yeah, he got like 1 catch, and it was very minimal. Haven't passed. We're not really passing the ball over 10 yards, though. But, I mean, anyway, I think it did play a factor, but we have to stop expecting Goedert to take the field. It's horrible to say, but we almost have to expect him to not play at this point because he's injured all the time. He's such a great talent, but he's never going to.
He'll come in and come back out. Or 1-2 games he'll miss. Then he'll be in for a good game. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, and I think you saw the effect a little bit on the run game too, because he's a very good run blocker. You didn't see as many crackback blocks to off tackle or more reads, and I think that's because you always see him like come across and take out the backside edge and open up the hole off either Mulata or Johnson. You didn't see that. So it begs the question, did that affect our RPO game in this one? But yeah, I think it did have an effect. But we can't expect him to be on the field, so we're going to have to figure out some kind of adjustment. And I agree with you. I think Calcaterra is a good player. Whether or not he's a caliber starter for a team, maybe not.
But he had that one-handed catch last year, which sealed the game, or at
I
least
think
put
he's
us
a
in
good
great
player.
Position. I think he just needs more touches, just like anything else. But now here's the thing: are we a run first team? Because we're doing decent with the run. What do we have total yards for running here? Let me bring up the stats on there.
It wasn't a
What
lot. I mean, Saquon, I think, had 22 carries for like 80
actually it was
yards.
one more than the Kansas City Chiefs, by the way, 122, and they had 121. So okay, but
Offensively, it wasn't a great game. It simply wasn't. But I mean, when you're
actually,
loading 8 men in the
different.
box,
I have a different opinion. I think offensively, it was a great game because there weren't turnovers. The only thing, the difference between the great game and and I think this is where you're going with it when you say it wasn't a great game offensively, is we didn't have those 20, 30-yard deep throws. You know, that I think that's the only place you're trying to say. While you do feel, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth, that the game was great offensively on Hurts' position, Kevin's position, Saquon. I mean, AJ had 8 attempts. He was targeted 8 times. He got it 5 for 27 yards. Okay, he got the ball. He touched it. At those points, normally AJ breaks free from a lot and gets up on it. He's after the catch type deal. So I'm with you on it. I think personally, and I guess that's a double-edged sword when you think about it, is when you say it's not a great game, you want to see those high numbers and those runs, but at the same time, you're okay because there wasn't a turnover. There was a 4th down, which Nick calls a turnover from the Chiefs because they didn't convert. I think all around, they did great. I mean, offense did what they should have done. I mean, if they would have lost the game, yeah, I think we'd be having a different conversation. We need to open up, but
I think not so much, 20, 30 yards, but we didn't really see the intermediate passing game, like,
yep.
8, 10 yards. And I'm more of a sustained drives and go down the field type of guy. And it seemed like at times there were a lot of lulls in there, which could be expected. And the reason why I say Hurts had a great game or a good game is because watching it back, you saw there weren't people open. He wasn't making decisions to not throw the ball downfield because he was
separation.
afraid. Yeah,
Why
there
are
was
we
no
not getting
separation.
it?
There really
Why?
wasn't.
That's the thing. That's the biggest thing is like we need separation in this. If you're going to look at Hurts for not getting more than 100, 101, whatever it is, more yards, then you need to open up more. AJ, you need to get available more. If they're sticking you do your thing, separate. And I think that's what we need. Devontae was a jump ball, throw up and get it, type deal. We need that separation.
Yeah, and I think that'll come, and that's where I kind of go back to play calling because we're going to have to bring some more motion pre-snap, get guys from being pressed because, like you said, AJ usually wins those one-on-one press schemes, but he doesn't seem to be winning it that much. And I think his hamstring, he looked better in this game to me physically with the hamstring. So it might just be a matter of he missed a month of training camp. So he's getting his legs under him, which is perfectly fine. But we just need to see him win and be more physical. And, on those slants, he was covered really well. So you want to see him break those tackles or get a little bit more separation. But again, we played a Dallas team in which we pounded the ball running down their throat. We played against one of the best defenses in the league statistically every single year. So now we're going to go into other teams. We're going to go into Rams, who have an okay defense, but it's not elite. And then we're going to go into Tampa Bay, which is a challenge in its own. But I think we're going to learn more about the type of play caller of Kevin Patula going forward here. We're going to learn a lot from him in this LA game because our defense can be great, but I think that we're going to have to put up points to beat LA. They are a great team, and they, again, have a revenge factor. They came in, lost to us twice, once in the playoffs, and everybody was on the media saying, oh, well, they should have won that game because if Jalen Carter, if this happened, whatever, ifs and ifs and ifs. But, I think that this is going to be their best test of the year so far. I mean, Kansas City is a great team, but I think offensively, this is the team that you want to stack up against.
I think overall the Eagles did excellent in this game. There were a huge miss opportunities from Mahomes. There was a wide open man, and if he didn't miss it, he was going to the house. But it was overthrown out of his area. Kelce had a number of those, and drop pass and everything. The other part I want to talk about is special teams, and specifically Jake Elliott. Last year, he was 1 for 7 over 50-plus yards. And in this game and in the previous one, he has been on the mark. And in fact, it was going to be 52 yards, and then we got a false start, so it pushed it to 57. And for some reason, commentators and everything said 58. I'm not sure what math they're doing, or somebody figured out a different mathematical equation of 5 plus 2. But he nailed it. He had no problem. It was a line drive. I feel that Elliott was injured last year. Nobody was really talking about it, but he is back, and he is driving it. It's like a bounce-back year for him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw it in the playoffs. It was like once the playoffs hit, it was like vintage Jake Elliott. And
Yep.
When have you ever seen Nick Sirianni kind of play conservative before the half?
Yep.
And I didn't like it that he played conservative, but at the same time, he's basically saying that I believe that my kicker's a weapon, and he is. He's a great kicker. And he's just booming kicks that would be good from over 65 yards. So it's good to see. Our special teams is really good. Our punter's doing great. The only thing that is a challenge right now are kick returns. But they signed Tank Bisbee, but they conveniently just kicked away from him to Mechie every single time. So maybe he really is that good. So we'll see how it goes. But, it seems like the team is hitting on all the right things. All these extra guys, all these guys that we brought in the offseason, for the most part, they're hitting on them.
I agree with you. Dan, before we wrap things up, we were talking about them playing the Rams. They are playing them this Sunday. Why did I have the time up? What time is it? 1 o'clock game. Yeah,
1 o'clock,
the 1 o'clock game for them, it is a home game. Yes, I think they're going to win. Do I think Saquon's going to have the same success as they did in the playoffs and the Snow Bowl? I actually have a feeling we're going to have some breakout runs from him. I think as we progress into the season, there's going to be some openings for it. Kevin's going to be like, listen, I want to do both. I want to run him down the ball, and then all of a sudden I want to switch it up and throw it. I predict a win, and we can go into, scores in a second. But in order for them to be successful on this, they have to be disruptive. The defense, the corners, the linebackers have to press right off. They have to disrupt the timing in order to make it difficult for it. And I'm not worried about the offense.
I think the offense is going to have a better game. I'm worried about the defense a little bit, only because their front four isn't consistently getting pressure on their own. And I don't feel like you can
Which
blitz.
they did last year.
Yeah, they definitely did last year. I don't feel that they can blitz the Rams like they did KC, because I don't trust Adoree Jackson in one-on-one coverage. So I don't want to see that. But it's going to be a test. I am a little worried. I think you're going to see a much more aggressive play style from the offense, only because I think that they're going to sit down and realize that they can't play this conservative all game. They're going to have to come out with some more aggressive down the field throws, some more blocking schemes or runs. I agree with you. I think Saquon's going to have a great game. I don't see him rushing for 255 yards, but I do see probably.
I'm writing this down. Dan does not see
2.
You said 255.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong.
Prediction?
Go ahead.
What's your prediction? $150?
I'm actually thinking about $150. Yeah, about 20.
All right, everybody, you heard this.
Carries.
Okay. I don't have a prediction here. I didn't know we were predicting how much
I don't
Saquon's going to get. But I am right in. He doesn't think this. Okay, everybody, don't worry. We'll recap it next week when, Dan, hopefully he's wrong.
Well,
and
my
he'd be
bold
happy to be
prediction
wrong.
for the game is going to be, I bet that Jalen passes over 200 yards.
You think they're going to come in, they heard everybody's talk and doing it, or they're going to switch things up thinking that we've planned everything around Saquon and going to run him?
I think that I think it's still going to be run heavy, but I think that they're going to go more down the field because I don't see the Rams having the corners to actually compete. And they don't have a team that blitzes a lot. So we're going to have to rely on them winning their one-on-ones. And it's only a matter of time because Devontae Smith is too damn good to be guarded one-on-one. A.J. Brown's too damn good to be guarded one-on-one. And now we have people like Mechie. We have, anybody else that, Goedert might be back. I don't know. But we have the weapons to go downfield. And I think you're going to see that more often.
Dan, I'm going to give you my prediction. I literally just wrote it down. It just came to my head only for some of the things you said of them going down the field. Here's my feeling is that the Eagles, I don't want to say they either are going to have a runaway game or are going to be playing catch up. I mean, it's kind of obvious on the way it's going. But here's my prediction is that it's going to be a heavy offensive game. And that we're going to have to throw those deep balls. We're going to have to, the score is going to be a high score. And because we need to keep up with the Rams. So we're going to not abandon the run because we're going to have a great time on the run. But those short underneath routes, we're going to have to play in some catch up time. I predict the Eagles 35-31.
I actually had 30-27.
That's not too far off. And I assume you're predicting the Eagles, right?
Well, I'm a little biased. Just a little.
Just checking.
No, I think they are the better team.
I agree with you. Now, just to recap, everybody, Dan, I think you had the Eagles were losing against KC, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the sheet here.
Yes.
Yeah, Dan's early season prediction was a loss against KC.
I thought it was a trap game.
I've heard that plenty of times. Everybody, I'm still predicting. So now,
didn't you go 17-0 or something crazy like that?
No, I gave you two of them.
Okay.
No, what was my total prediction? Let me look at my notes on it.
But I think we both had them beating the Rams, though.
No, I think we both had them doing it. I was going either 12-5 or 13-4.
Oh, really? Okay.
Or something like that. Yeah. So we were on there. But by the way, everybody, I won first week with Dan, but I won this week. Dan lost. I'm just saying. But we both picked that they're going to beat the Rams. So. All right, I got yours down, Dan. You got 30-27. I think it's going to be a difference of a 4-point game where a field goal is not going to suffice. It's going to come down to the wire, and he's going to heave it up, and it's going to be intercepted by our defense, and it's just going to end like the last one. We're going to be kneeing on it.
Well, are we going to get bitched at again by the defensive lineman?
Well, here's another question for you just thought of. Dan, how many times do you think the tush push will be in effect?
I'm gonna go with 4.
That was mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 4. And how many times are they gonna false start on it? 0.
No, I believe the refs are going to fake a false start so that they can put it into the refs thing and everybody's mind that we are watching it and the Eagles are not false starting anymore because we called them on it. It won't be legit, but they'll call it and they'll draw their imaginary line and shit.
I actually think rather than a false start, they're going to call offsides in the offense once.
Yeah?
Yeah, because there were some images, like close-ups of the hands of Landon Dickerson being a little bit too far, and I think that you're going to see them really nitpick that.
Most of the time the defense lines up in the neutral zone. So
every time.
I don't want to hear it. If you're you call that on there and they show it down on a thing and says he is, offsides, you better call that on the defense, and it better be penalties by both teams.
No, it won't be. I mean, look at the Super Bowl. Everybody said that the refs were so heavily favoring the Chiefs that it became a national story. So what happened in the Super Bowl? It was actually called legit. So everybody, it's a national story now that the Tush Push, they are offsides and they're false starting. So what are they going to do? They're going to call it. But I don't think they're going to call the false start because I think the Eagles are going to be very aware of that. But I think they are going to call the offensive offsides.
Yeah, well, maybe
I would like to see them run a quarterback sneak without pushing. Just once. So that Jalen can get up from the pile and be like, see, we don't need to effing do it. We just want to do it.
I want them to fake it out. They did it one time where they were faking out the Tush Push, and it was like a round.
Round, yeah.
So I want them to do it. Just to fuck with them a little bit. To be like, AJ's right there. AJ is literally right there, and Saquon's ready to push. I think he needed like back to, or Saquon's the one stepping up and grabbing the ball and then just running around the end, and then all the way down for a touchdown. I want them to do one on our 30-yard line and just take it to the house.
Imagine this. If I'm at the game when they do that, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, everybody, we got to wrap things up. This has been the Philly Fan Radio Podcast. I'm your host, John Myer, along with Dan Palmieri. And Dan, I'm going to let you wrap things up.
Well, this is your official Adoree Jackson Appreciation Podcast, so, go Birds.
Go Birds.